Hey everybody, John Franklin Reviewer here, and I'm doing my final Nightmare on Elm Street, doing the reboot. Just gonna give a heads up that there will be spoilers throughout this here. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. This movie is 11 years old. Now, I'll be honest, this is the last Freddy Krueger we got a chance to have at the theater so far. When I first saw this movie, that I really enjoyed this movie. Has it continued that way, or has it declined in 11 years? Well, stay tuned. So what exactly is this movie about? Well, this movie is actually about Freddy Krueger coming back to get revenge on what the parents did to him and going after their brats. But there is a little bit of a twist. So what is it that I like about this movie? Well, the first thing I'm going to talk about is Freddy Krueger, played by Jackie Earle Haley, does a damn good job, surprisingly. Probably one of the few actors in this movie that I thought were very believable. His humor really does very well. I mean, I laughed at almost everything he said, so I got to give him that. He performed that character really well. He does have that scariness to it, which is really good, which you need with a horror movie for sure, and especially a classic villain like that, and having another person take over as they did there. Another character I have to bring up is a character named Chris, who I feel like personally she should have been played Nancy. She should have been the main character, because out of all the Elm Street brats, she was the only one that I really enjoyed this. And I think that if she was the main character, you know, I think that this movie would definitely probably be a lot higher on my ranking video, and also probably better stars than what I'm probably going to give this one, honestly, here. Another character, Clancy Brown, who played Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob. He always does a good job, no matter what he does in movies or TV and all that. And he plays one of the kids, you know, fathers in this and all that. I think he's also the principal or vice principal of the school. I kind of can't remember which way it was. But he always, like I said, he's always bringing the goods, even in the bad movie. And then the final character I want to talk about is Nancy's mom. God, is she 1,000 times better. Original Wes Craven's classic, Nancy's mom, who I was not thrilled with on. I think that out of all the characters, if you've seen my review, you know. If you haven't, just very quick here, is I just thought she was really dull. I didn't really care anything about her, and her death at the end of the movie was really stupid, honestly, here. So, but the mother in this one, I'm pretty much latching on every scene that she's in, because I'm more thrilled and I'm more hanging on with her than I would have with the original, and I have to give her credit there. Other stuff that I really did like about it, okay, so this is directed by music video director, who visual effects always is good when you do a music video, and I'm just glad that he didn't end up actually making this like a music video. He actually tried his best to direct a horror movie with a classic character that a lot of people love and know. Love the kills in this here for sure. I really do enjoy the kills with the Elm Street brat. I thought was really cool. I know that you, I think it was a character named Jesse that Freddy kind of messes with a little bit. He's actually in prison. Supposedly he gets out of prison, but you can kind of almost tell right away, oh, this is going to be a dream, and Freddy's after him. And he starts talking about that even after the hurt stops, the brain continues working for like another 7 minutes. And Freddy's like, yeah, we have another 6 minutes to play. Now, two things I want to bring up, and I've already mentioned briefly one of them here, that I have to give this movie over the classic one, is the first thing I got to talk about is Nancy's mom's death, where Nancy and her mom, they're walking in the house, and Nancy's mom kind of bends over and drops something off on a table, and then when she stands back up, behind her in the mirror is Freddy. Freddy, you know, puts his claws right through her face, right through her eyes, pulls her in the mirror, and Nancy screams, and that's the end, you know, show credits and all that there. But I really like the death of that one over the mother with the blow up doll in the original. Their best act 3 between this one and the original here, honestly, because the original kind of had the whole thing where there was booby traps and all that, and it kind of gave me a little bit of Three Stooges feel. With this one, it was just straight up being serious, and we got to kill Freddy. You know, Nancy brings Freddy out in the real world and pretty much has to cut off his head and say, welcome to my world. And now on to the negatives here. Well, let's start with the characters on this one here too. So, gotta start with Rooney Mara, who played Nancy. I gotta be honest, I was bored with her. She never showed any emotion throughout this entire movie. I actually heard she didn't even want to be in the movie. Well, then why the hell would you even accept the role? You could have just said no. And she is a great actress, but for some reason she's in this movie and she just much shits the bed, in my opinion here. Like, honestly, Chris and Nancy, those actresses should have switched. I would have been perfectly happy with that instead there, but unfortunately it didn't go that way. Then another character is Quentin, where he always looks like he's sad, always looks like he wants to cry, and honestly, I felt like this character didn't even need to be in the movie. Another character is named Jesse, who was just pretty much a total dick. I mean, even in the movie, he even says, I'm an asshole at one point, and it's like, yes, you are, and I still hate you even though you admit your faults. Freddy Krueger, we got to continue with on the negatives here too, is that, okay, as much as I'm glad that he's back and all that, I hated the makeup on him. I didn't like the whole it's supposed to look more real and all that there. I was not thrilled with it one bit there. And then even whenever they kind of do a flashback, with Quentin's dream on here, where somehow he's dreaming about Freddy before he turns into the monster he is, and the parents are burning him and all that. That flashback, I just felt like didn't even need to be in the movie. Personally, I wasn't too thrilled with it. Again, talk about it was fine, and that was all it. But when they're showing it, I'm like, no, it's not impressing me one bit. I'm sorry. But also other problems I have with Freddy, and again, it's more the script than him, honestly, is that, okay, so he comes into these kids' dreams to get revenge, not just to try to scare them and kill them, which he does. You know, the whole thing is he comes in your dreams, into these teenagers' dreams, to get revenge from the parents. In this one, he's killing them because he's actually, first off, a child molester, and because the kids told on him, that all of a sudden, oh, hey, I want revenge. The movie is not scary at all. I mean, I think it really does try. You're in for the ride or you're not. So, and I was one of these people that was. Now I'm like, forget it. I'll just take the next taxi home. And then they do some of the tributes, you know, Freddy's claw coming up in the bathtub. The one that I really, really hated was the whole thing with Freddy coming out of the wall and trying to scare Nancy. That was all CGI, where the original was practical effect. And this is why there's a such thing as good and bad CGI. But for me, I feel like there's a lot of bad CGI out there, and this is definitely one of them. I didn't really care for this one bit personally here. And then the final thing that I'm going to talk about, we needed a better director to do a horror movie. We needed a better writer, because I wasn't too thrilled with what was going on, and half the time I didn't even give a damn what was going on. It's like, oh, okay, you live, you die, I don't care. So personally, I'm just not a huge fan of this movie anymore, and my rating on this is going to be 1 out of 4 stars. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. So, what exactly is your opinion about this movie? Give me a comment down below. I'd be kind of curious on that here. So thank you guys for watching this. And like I said, we're all done. I already did my ranking video before doing these reviews. Got done with this whole series. Took a while, but I'm glad we did it. And as always, stay awesome.